Welcome to SOS Media, your number one source of the latest news, opinions, and in-depth investigations that dig deeper into today's developing stories around the globe. R. Kelly was sued by Heather Williams in February 2019. She alleged that she first met R. Kelly in 1998 when she was 16 years old, and initially agreed to spend time with him at his studio because he promised to put her in a music video. The lawsuit said that on Williams's 16th birthday in 1998, R. Kelly stopped in his car to speak with her while she was walking on a sidewalk here in Chicago. According to the lawsuit, later that day an associate of R. Kelly met Williams and her family at a restaurant and gave her R. Kelly's number. She then alleged that the associate told her that R. Kelly wanted her to be in a music video he was making. However, Heather went on to allege that the video never happened and instead they began an intimate relationship, which Williams claims to have subsequently recognized as abusive. R. Kelly failed to make presents to defend himself against that lawsuit, meaning that Williams won by default the following year and was awarded $4 million in damages. The lawsuit further said that Miss Williams reckoned with those memories in therapy, realizing the psychological distress they had caused her. "My client wants to be paid as a result of the terrible treatment she went through as a minor," Mr. Deutschmann said in an interview. "All I'm able to do for her is get her money," he added unbothered. Because R. Kelly and his lawyers did not respond to the lawsuit or schedule a court appearance, the judge granted Heather Williams's request for a default judgment, her lawyer Jeffrey Deutschmann said. "If Mr. Kelly continues to be unresponsive, the judge will decide how much he must pay Miss Williams after a court hearing next month," Deutschmann added. This all happened as new criminal investigations were launched into the many allegations of abuse that had been made against R. Kelly over the years, which resulted in 2 trials at which the king of R&B was unjustly convicted and jailed. R. Kelly's then lawyer Stevie Greenberg did not respond to requests for comments. On Thursday, March 23, 2023, Illinois Supreme Court ruled that Heather Williams was entitled to access R. Kelly's label fund, which was reportedly valued at $1.5 million in 2020. According to court documents seen by SOS Media, Heather Williams was to receive the payment before Midwest Commercial Funding, a property manager that won its own separate $3.5 million ruling against R. Kelly over unpaid rent on a Chicago studio. Now, we should recall the fact that in 2020, Williams won a $4 million judgment against R. Kelly after filing a civil lawsuit against him a year prior. She alleged that when she was 16 when R. Kelly lured her to his studio on a promise that she could be in a music video and then intimately involved with her multiple times as a minor. The state high court's decision on March 23, 2023 upheld an earlier ruling by a lower court that Williams, and not Midwest Commercial, should be given priority to access the royalties because she was the first to properly file a demand for the money. The earlier ruling ordered Sony Records to hand over any funds that were in R. Kelly's royalty account at the time to Williams, and to keep paying her from his royalties until the judgment was paid off. Subsequently, R. Kelly's lead attorney Jennifer Bonjean swiftly sought to overturn the $4 million judgment, and told reporters that the award to Williams never should have been entered, because it was issued after R. Kelly failed to respond to a judgment he knew nothing about. "I've never in my career seen such a flouting of the rules to deny him even the opportunity to defend these civil cases, even when the courts were fully aware that R. Kelly was incarcerated, unrepresented at points and facing multiple criminal indictments," Bonjean said. "Indeed, much of these civil proceedings occurred without R. Kelly's knowledge," she added. Williams' legal team had struggled to get the $4 million in alleged damages paid to the extent that they at one time accused R. Kelly of fraudulently selling his music rights to a friend in an effort to stop those rights being seized in order to settle his debts. Another option was to go after revenues still being generated by R. Kelly's catalog via Sony Music. However, Midwest Commercial Funding had already made a claim against those royalties in order to access the $3.5 million it is owed. The bank's claim was received by Sony first, however, it emailed its paperwork, whereas Heather Williams' team sent a claim through the mail via the U.S. Postal Service. Later, the Illinois Supreme Court confirmed a lower court ruling in the state which said that the relevant rules do not allow for such claims to be made by email, and therefore Williams' claim took precedence. Now, The Appellant Court of Illinois has sided with R. Kelly on the vacated $4 million default judgment. With the New York and Chicago appeals taking real shape, this win order dated 20th of February 2024 is very vital and important for R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean and all of us his supporters. Justice Coghlan delivered the judgment of the court while both presiding Justice Fitzgerald Smith and Justice Pucinski concurred in the judgment. It is clearly stated that default judgment entered against unrepresented individual who was never served with notice of his attorney's withdrawal, or notice of the entry of default against him was void. Failure to comply with legal procedures in the context of legal proceedings encompasses various situations where the prescribed steps outlined by the law are not followed correctly. These procedures are pivotal for upholding fairness, transparency and the protection of rights within the legal system. When parties fail to adhere to these procedures can have significant repercussions, potentially leading to judgments being invalidated, cases dismissed or other adverse outcomes. It is important to delve into the specifics of failure to comply with legal procedures. Firstly, the service of process is essential and requires the proper delivery of legal documents to notify involved parties of legal actions against them. This includes summonses, complaints or motions and deviations from the rules governing service, such as incorrect addresses or insufficient notice which can render legal proceedings invalid. Timely responses are equally crucial with parties expected to reply within specified time frames. For instance, defendants must file responses like answers or other pleadings promptly after being served with a complaint. Failure to do so may result in default judgments, though valid reasons for delays can sometimes warrant the setting aside of such judgments. Filing requirements mandate the submission of various documents to the court such as complaints, motions or briefs. Each jurisdiction has specific rules governing the content, format, and timing of these filings, and noncompliance, like missing deadlines or submitting inaccurate documents, can lead to rejection, case dismissal or sanctions. Procedural rules set by courts govern the conduct of legal proceedings covering aspects like hearings, evidence submission, and courtroom decorum. Violating these rules, such as disobeying court orders or procedural motions, may invite objections from opposing parties, sanctions or evidence exclusion. Furthermore, notice requirements are critical to ensure that all affected parties are informed of legal actions and have an opportunity to participate. Failure to provide proper notice can compromise the fairness of proceedings, potentially resulting in judgments or rulings being overturned. Thank you for watching today's video brought to you by SOS Media. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our videos. Also remember to leave your comment about today's topic in the comment section below.